Parshas Tazria Metzorah deals with a lot of phenomenon that are chok for us, things that we don't understand, Tumah and Tara and so on. And Tsaras, certainly, even though it has some sort of physical effect, it's widely assumed to be something which is mainly a spiritual phenomenon. So one of the things we find, we can learn from the things that are done, the process, we can learn things about understanding some of the aspects of it. So we have the pasuk in Metzorah. It says, "V'shilach satzipor achaya al pnei hasada." That part of the process of cleansing this Metzorah is bringing two birds. One bird is shechted, one bird is dipped in the blood, and he sent off v'shilach satzipor achaya al pnei hasada. He sends it off to the field. That's the that's the process. So Rabbi Chaya explains, some of it is a little bit sort of on the Kabbalah side, but the point that he makes is a point that we can well understand. And there are 2 points that he makes over here. One point, he says, he speaks about the Avera that the person did, the nature of it, which is Lashon Hara, but he points to a particular aspect, and he says he breaks bonds that are meant to exist, and he says that is reminiscent of the Nachash who tried to break the bond between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and people. So since the Gemara says Metzorah comes about as Lashon Hara, as a pungent Lashon Hara, this is something similar to it. So he says something. The fascinating part about it is the comparing the Ben Adam Lamakom to Ben Chavero. He says just like the Nachas tried to separate between the Kadosh Baruch Hu, the Bria and Kadosh Baruch Hu, by saying V'isim Kelokim, you don't really need Hashem. So the point of his argument was to sort of break that bond. This also is that type of inyan. So there's something here that's very, very fascinating, and that is Ben Adam Lechavero and Ben Adam Lemakom are not there just to describe what areas those mitzvahs are, but they're there to create a certain bond. And my Rebbe Moshe Shapiro used to say, if these terms, Ben Adam Lechavero, are simply there to neatly organize the mitzvahs, we could have come up with Ben Adam Lechamoro. So there are 5 mitzvahs that can apply to a chamor. So would it be appropriate to say Ben Adam Lechamoro? And we have all sorts of different things to be Ben Adam Le. And the answer is no. Ben Adam Lechavero and Ben Adam Lemakom do not mean mitzvahs that happen to take place in that world. Rather, it means that these are mitzvahs whose essence is to create a bond. Ben Adam Lemakom, the essence is to create a bond with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ben Adam Lechavero, the essence is to create a bond with other people. Maral says this in many places. A person is supposed to be mashlim himself between Beino Lemakom, Beino La'atzmo, Beino Lechavero. So it's meant to create a bond, and the bond with other people is as significant as the bond between a person and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And therefore, there's an equivalence between the Nachash, who tried to break the bond between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and humanity, and the Metzorah, who through Lashon Hara tries to destroy the bonds between people. That's one point in Rabbeinu Bachaya that comes out, that the destroying of bonds between people stands in the same place as destroying a bond between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and people. The second point is the sending the bird away. This really, in a sense, is reminiscent of the Metzorah himself, who sits outside the Yishuv. And Rabbi Bechaya explains that the kochos of Ra are michutz Yishuv. For instance, the Sur Lazazel is sent out Hamidbara, out to the desert. These birds are sent away, and so on. The point of that is, and this is a general misunderstanding, that the definition of Ra is not, and it's not something that has existence, an understanding of its own, and it's one against the other. We don't understand this, that Ra itself has a Metzias or whatever. It's more the antithesis of Tov. The HaKadosh Baruch Hu is one, and he is synonymous with both Tov and existence. So anything which is Davar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, anything which is Tied HaKadosh Baruch Hu, is Tov and exists. The Ra is something that does not exist. It's an illusion, and all it is anti-something, meaning that Kesher Hashem, a so-called unity amongst Rishayim, cannot exist. It basically is just it's opportunistic. It's something which, if you and I get together, we can rob the bank, but there is no bond that is formed around that. This was demonstrated by Dara Flugger, where, since their main focus was anti-Kadosh Baruch Hu, however we understand the Chazal described in different ways, but at the end of the day, they were trying to rebel. They did not have an essence. Ra does not have an essence. So Ra is not in a makom yishuv. It does not build. It does not create. It doesn't become one entity. Tov becomes an entity. So every shevet has its place, its nachla, its yerusha, its makom, and so on. Different ways, but each one was a society that existed as a society because of Tov. The minute something becomes Ra, it exists only as a negative of Tov. The person is angry, bitter, upset, frustrated. So he may do things, but those things don't really have value on their own. And therefore, the people that get together to act together, they're doing it because it's something which it might be useful at this point. It might help me achieve whatever negative I want, but there's no real bond with the other when everything is negative. So the Torah demonstrates that the kochos of Ra are outside. This is true, like we said, by the Salazazel, who sent out. This is true, the Metzorah sent out. This is true, the bird was dipped and sent out. The bringing sacrifices on the Bamos, not in the Beis Hamikdash, is also called bringing korbanos to the Seirim that are roked. These are all kochos that are out of the Yishuv. That's why they tend to be places of bad, of evil, and so on, are in places where there is no society. So, to recap, we're trying to understand some of what the process of Metzorah is expressing. We're looking at the sending off the bird, the chutza, which is the process of tahara. We explained, so with Rabbi Bechaya, 2 points. First of all, that the act of speaking lashon hara and so on is something that destroys a society. And it's analogous to the Nachash, who tried to destroy the bond between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and people. We're destroying the bond between people and people. Secondly, Ra exists outside of the Yishuv. Ra can never form a group. Each one is there. Each one is in it for his own. It's only Tov that has real existence and a real society. And therefore, all different aspects of Ra always point to Ra as being outside, not a specific place, just not Mina Yishuv, not the Makom of Yishuv.